Got an article from Forbes here. It's on Archive. I'm sure you can tell why, just based on the headline. Online backlash to The Last Jedi and Ghostbusters ruined the Legacy sequel. It's from Scott Mendelson, who's a complete fucking moron. I'll link it in the description if you want to read it for yourself. 'Cause I'm going to try to make his point more concise. His dumbass, stupid idiot point. Here he talks about, for a couple of paragraphs, about Cobra Kai and basically the how many millions of hours it's gotten views and all this kind of shit and stuff. It's like, I ain't a fucking Netflix executive, so I don't care. But anyway, then he complains about how they've had too many of the adults on the show, basically, and that it's supposed to be more about the kids. And then he talks about what a Legacy sequel used to be. Force Awakens was a sequel to Return of the Jedi, which it was still about the new characters. And Creed was a Rocky sequel that centered and highlighted Michael B. Jordan's Adonis Creed. Audiences young and old showed up to Jurassic World both because they liked Jurassic movies and because they liked Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt's characters and blah blah blah. Jumanji earned a stunning 962 million worldwide, but positioned itself as a new high concept comedy that happened to be a loose sequel to Jumanji. Then he talks about basically to him, Independence Day Resurgence flopped in 2016 partially because it undercut the new stars in favor of returning vets. It flopped, if you want to call it that. Which, I mean, it kind of did, but I mean, it did basically. But because Will Smith wasn't in there, no one gives a flying fuck about these new people. That had nothing to do with it. It undercut the new star. Basically, his complaint is that he believes that the Legacy sequel, the whole point of it is to act as a Trojan horse for like new characters. Yes, you use the old characters to get over the new. You use the old characters to get over the new characters, basically. And of course he got started with the whole thing. And he even says, "Oh, it doesn't always work commercially. See Men in Black International or Cars 3, but." Oh, first, the sexist and racist online backlash to Paul Feig's gender-swapped Ghostbusters remake created a narrative that had the $144 million sci-fi comedy bombed because it ignored the fans. If it cost $144 million and took in 126 domestic and 229 worldwide, that's a fucking bomb. That's more of a bomb than the fucking Independence Day movie. You stupid jackass. It's like, what the fuck, man? But anyway, because it ignored the fans and when the true Ghostbusters the Last Jedi went further into the Star Wars is for today's kids mentality and made sense after the Force Awakens cliffhanger. It was met with an SEO-friendly backlash, creating the impression that Episode 8, which received rave reviews, an A from CinemaScore and $1.3 billion worldwide, was despised by fans and general audiences. I would say most people didn't like it. You'll find some people who liked it, whatever. That's fine. You can like whatever you like. But anyway, and he goes on and talks about with the some of the basically more complaining about Star Wars, trying to frame it as, oh well, hey, this is how it's supposed to be done. And blah blah blah. It's fucking stupid. That some like I said, I'll link this in the description box if you want to read it for yourself. But then Top Gun 2 made the subtext of those post Last Jedi sequel legacies into text. That may have played into its $1.4 billion success. $1.4 billion, or $billion, I should say. The next wave of legacy sequels mostly declared that franchise vets were the only ones who could say today. By proxy, the original fans are designated as the most critical fans, even for properties from when they were kids. We have a wave of generational nostalgia pieces like Willow, which probably suck. Beverly Hills Cops actually, I don't know. And Picard, whose third season is morphing into essentially an eighth season of Star Trek The Next Generation. Adult fans demand that Hollywood continue to cater to their kid-era interests, while some concurrently whine on social media if these old properties dare look more diverse than they did in prior generations. And that's the fucking problem. It's not diverse enough for you. You gotta. Then he spent some time here more whining about Star Wars, basically. The two biggest shows on streaming are prequels to Game of Thrones and Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy. Blah blah blah. And talk about even Avatar. The Way of Water is being sold, at least for now, via nostalgia for Avatar 13 years ago. Even if that nostalgia is, remember when pop culture nostalgia wasn't the primary hook for your big budget franchise tentpoles? And basically, then he just starts going on and talks about The Flash, The Amazing Spider-Man, blah blah blah, Michael Keaton, on and on and on. And then he talks about Cobra Kai is still a good show, and the kids Adults imbalance isn't a pass-fail scenario, however, its evolution, de-evolution, or devolution, I guess, has lined up almost perfectly within the broader pop culture. The Force Awakens at least used the comforting nostalgia and IP-specific security to introduce new protagonists who, being played by not a white guy actress, Scott Mendelson's a white guy, by the way. So I mean, that tells you right there. Shattered the notions of who could headline the global blockbuster and anchor billion-dollar IP. We may now be doomed to not just regurgitate IP, but to explicitly center old franchise vets returning to battle and assuring fans that they are still the most special. Yada yada yada. You know, and that's basically how it ends right there. See, there's old Scott right there, you fucking idiot. It's like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? It's fucking ridiculous. This kind of simpering, oh, no, it needs to be for the kids. No, how dare you? How dare you? Basically, it comes down to he thinks that you should use the franchise veterans and shit all over them to get the younger people over. To get the younger people, to get you to care about the younger people. Instead of doing what they did in the original movies, which is making you care about characters and give you a reason to care. Why the hell do I want to? Oh, I'm not going to root for somebody based on the color of their skin, their gender, sexuality, whatever. I don't care about that stuff. That's fucking stupid. Anyway, so I'll link this in the description box if you want to read it for yourself. It's basically a whole lot of words saying nothing. It's fucking stupid. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.